Hello and welcome to another session of Answer the Community, where I answer your questions regarding headsets, headphones, Bluetooth devices, speakerphones, and other office technology. Hello and welcome to Answer the Community. I'm Rolando, founder of Global Tech Worldwide, and today we're going to answer questions regarding Bluetooth and connectivity problems. And I want to remind you to hit that like and subscribe and hit that bell so that you know when we've released a new episode, as well as other nuggets that come out through the week. On today's session, I'm going to dive into Bluetooth connections and connection problems related to using Bluetooth devices. If you have used a Bluetooth device, whether it's a headset, whether it's a speakerphone, whether it's a keyboard even, you have inevitably had issues with a connection. And what I mean by connection is that that device that you're using, whether it's a headset or a headphone or something else, will lose a connection. It may not get the advertised range that says on the box that you should get, or simply you're close enough to maybe your mobile phone or your computer if you're using it with your computer and it's not syncing up. This is a common issue, and I want to show you a sample of some of the issues that people are talking about when it comes to Bluetooth devices. Let's dive into a few reviews that are on Amazon regarding connectivity and how bad these connections can be. So just by looking at one product on Amazon, we find that many people that rate a particular Bluetooth device a 1-star, among other things, they have problems with the connectivity. Just looking at this one particular person, says spotty and does not provide much range. Again, we go into Shannon O, it says the Bluetooth range is up to 30 meters, 100 feet, but provides less than 10 feet from my desk. Not uncommon in terms of the complaint. Again, the range is pretty bad too. Another user says here, I pace while I talk and I have about 5-foot range on this headset instead of the 100 feet that it claims. Another one, I was disappointed with the range. And as you can see, many more reviews all have to do with range. As you've seen from those reviews, all of them are 1-star and all of them have complaints with range. So the first thing you got to ask yourself is, why does that happen? Why so many problems with range? So let's address Bluetooth and what it is and why, and then we'll address the why in terms of why there's so many people having range and problems with connectivity. Bluetooth is a signal designed to connect multiple devices. And that signal is not a very strong signal compared to, let's say, your mobile phone, or as well as the signal coming from the tower that's providing signal to your mobile phone. Those signals are much stronger. They're broadcast at a higher power. And with Bluetooth, the opposite is true. It broadcasts at a very low power in order to conserve the battery of your mobile device, if you're using with a mobile device, and also to conserve the battery power on the Bluetooth headset or Bluetooth headphones that you may be using with. So now that we've established that, the second layer to that is, what does low signal or low power do to a device that's Bluetooth? It makes it susceptible to objects that get in the way of the line of sight. And I'm going to explain what that means. So if you have your Bluetooth, if you have your Bluetooth mobile device and you've got, let's say, a pair of Bluetooth headphones, at here, they have perfect line of sight. You shouldn't have any issues. But let's say now I take this cell phone and put it in my pocket. Now I've got my body in the way and I've got my cell phone behind me, and the Bluetooth signal is not going to have a perfect line of sight. And because of that, it is going to be susceptible to a dropped connection. Even though these two things are only feet away, my body is very dense, full of bone, full of liquids, hopefully just blood, not any other crazy liquids at this moment, but liquids and things that get in the way and make that signal get weaker. As the signal gets weaker, you'll find then that's when you have issues. The same thing happens on a mobile phone. And some mobile phones, when they drop down to a certain signal level, it will lose a connection with the tower as well. This is the exact same phenomena with a Bluetooth device. only that it's amplified even more in Bluetooth because you notice it even more, because all of a sudden you could be in a midstream conversation on your headphones and you move around, and all of a sudden, you move around and all of a sudden now the connection's gone, or you stop hearing the audio. So how do we get around that problem? And that's what I want to address today. If you're on a mobile phone, you'll find that if you have your mobile phone near you and the two sources that are the two things you're connecting, you may have less problems. But again, in the example I provided, maybe I stick it in my pocket, or maybe I happen to leave my mobile. I'll leave it on the desk behind me, and I grab my headphones and I start walking around. Now, if we show the shot of the studio, you will see that I've got around me, I've got a whole lot of things going on. I've got monitors, I've got plants, I've got metal behind me. If I was to now leave and go, let's say, to the living room, I will initially be able to stay connected. But the moment I get behind these monitors, I will start losing connectivity, because these monitors interfere with that signal over there. And the advertised range, which in some cases is 33 feet or 100 feet, and some have advertised even more, all of those claims are based on line of sight. So again, for the sake of example, as long as that line of sight means if this headphone is able to get in a line of sight directly into that mobile phone, I can get 100 feet. I can get 300 feet. Now you're probably wondering, well, who gets just a line of sight with no interference? Well, unfortunately, all of these manufacturers do their test and benchmark it against just a line of sight. Unfortunately, they may not tell you if you're at home or you're in your office, all of these things that we looked at, monitors and bookshelves and people's own bodies, walls, doors, all of these things will lower the quality of the signal. And if it goes down below a threshold, and every device is different, every Bluetooth device is different, it will drop the connection, or all of a sudden you will not hear any audio. And some devices do a better job of resyncing once you're in range, some do not. So let me offer some pointers. Line of sight, if you have it in your back pocket, try to have the location of, or in some cases you may not know where the Bluetooth antenna may be on the right or the left of the device. Try to have the phone on the side of where that antenna is located. That will help out. If you can carry the phone with you or have a lanyard, that will also help. Now, if you happen to just leave your cell phone stationary, one of the things that unfortunately, just like if I have on my desk here, you leave that there and I walk away, you may not get that signal, because that signal, thank you, Ori, it has to penetrate this monitor that you're looking at. So if I get up out of my desk with the headphones that's advertising 100-foot range, it won't get that. I can tell you from my own personal experience here in this setup that I have here, which can be quite common for folks that are working from home and that have monitors. If I go on the other side of those monitors, there's a very big likelihood. I know for me, I get on the other side, I'm gonna go about 15 feet, the signal starts dropping and people can't hear me anymore. So what do? On a mobile phone, you're gonna be limited with the number of options that you have. It's just all about line of sight. So keep that in mind when you're using any Bluetooth device. Line of sight is what you need. The same applies if you're using a Bluetooth device with your computer. And for those people that use your headphones or headsets or other devices for work purposes, this is going to be important. The same concept applies if I take this headphones and connect it over to my laptop. So I've got a laptop back here, and these particular headphones come with an additional accessory. This is a Bluetooth dongle, and if you've seen any of our previous podcasts, we talk exclusively about this. You really want to take advantage of this, but it's also got the same problem. So if I take this should improve the audio. I'm going to go back here and theoretically plug it in. So I've plugged my dongle over there. So I have a line of sight that's direct to that dongle. But again, the moment I get up and walk around, I lose that line of sight. Maybe I go over here on my left, you cannot see it, but I have my off here is a deck. If I walk on the other side and I go to the deck and take the sliding glass doors out, I should be able to go 100 feet, but I've got really thick glass and curtains, and you won't get outside of that door and have a good signal. So we've come up with a way to improve on that, and that is by improving the location of that dongle. So if you're a computer user and you want to use your headphones or your speaker phones that are Bluetooth, what you want to do with that same dongle is use it with what we call a Bluetooth range extender. It's our Blue Beacon device. This will help you get further in terms of range. Let me show you what it does. If we use the analogy of a cell phone tower, what you'll find is cell phone towers tend to be up on a hill or somewhere where the signal can broadcast down into a valley or into the street. And that's because the signal is much stronger coming down and it will get better line of sight. So now I'm going to do the same with this computer. I'm going to take this Blue Beacon and I'm going to plug it into the USB port. So it's got a USB on one end and the other end is for the Bluetooth dongle. With the Blue Beacon range extender, what you'll find is it can act as your virtual tower for your signal. So what I would want to do in this environment where I've got nothing but electronics, maybe just my monitor and other things to not interfere with the signal, what I want to do is, so if I want to have longer range, I'd want to stick it right over here. So I'm just going to show you where I'd place it. I'd place it right over my monitor where it clears all of the debris, all of the electronics below, keyboard, desk, monitors. So none of that gets in the way. Otherwise, I have another laptop down here that I actually use. It's down below the table. Like many of you that work, you may have your computer or your tower that sits down below. You're not going to really get a good signal down there either. So this way you can get up, walk around. I have an actual monitor here and I'd put it right here. So now I can be on this side of the monitor that I'm talking on, as well as the other side if I want to walk away, and I will still maintain the connection. I could tell you from my own personal experience the last month using this Blue Beacon range extender, I can now go to my kitchen with my Bluetooth device, whereas before, if I walked into the kitchen, the signal dropped. So this is one way for you to get a much better, cleaner, improved signal, no matter what Bluetooth device you're on, as long as that device has a dongle. Now, if it came in the box, you're all set. Use that dongle, put it in, you're good to go. What you'll find is that most of the major manufacturers that make Bluetooth devices like headphones, headsets, speakerphones, keyboards, and mouse, like these that are on the screen, all of these manufacturers make a dongle so that you can use those devices with a computer. So if your issue has been using a computer with any of these devices, this dongle is your key, along with the Blue Beacon. It'll get you the range that you're looking for so that you can move about your home office environment or inside of your work office if it's where you're working. So that's a way to get your Bluetooth device to work with your computer, improve its range, and have the type of range that you're actually looking for. So the key here is dongle to connect to your computer. Blue Beacon range extender will give you that range so that you don't have interference from other devices, walls, or books, so that you can move about the cabin as you need. All right, we've got another question from Tim. Tim says, I have a wireless connection on my Plantronics Voyager Focus that is terrible. He just says terrible. I have this headset connected via Bluetooth to a brand new MacBook Pro. Okay. I connect straight to the MacBook and do not use the supplied USB dongle, although I have tried that setup and it does not help. it says, he goes on to say, regular breakup of audio signals on calls has forced me to stop using the headset entirely. Well, let me help you out, Tim. The issue, like some of the other complaints that other folks have mentioned, may not be the dongle or the headset. What we're finding when we talk to folks that call us every single day of the week about this type of issue, the biggest issue is that the range and the signal drop because of what we were talking about earlier, line of sight. And although a MacBook Pro, and then behind me I've got a Lenovo, I also use a MacBook Pro. And I've been using, in this case right here, this is the Voyager Focus 2, and which is very similar to the Focus that you have. I've used them both, and I find the exact same problem. In my setup here, as you can see, I've got a laptop here and one you can't see underneath where my MacBook Pro is. And where that MacBook Pro is, I can't go more than 10 feet. If I just take this dongle, if I just take the dongle and plug it in to the MacBook, the MacBook is down there and the signal cannot get through this table. But let's say you don't have it, your MacBook Pro under the table. Maybe you have it like kind of off to the side there. You're going to find that the antenna on this, look at this thing. It's a very small dongle. So although it's got a built-in antenna, it doesn't have a lot of surface area for this antenna to work with a signal. Again, Bluetooth is a very weak signal. It is not designed to go through a lot of monitors and concrete, metal objects, books, walls. It does a very poor job of that. Even your own body, it does a very poor job of that. If you want to use it with your computer, and that's what you suggest by using it with a MacBook Pro like I do, I would recommend using the Blue Beacon range extender, so that when you want that better range, that improved range, this will essentially give you line of sight no matter if you're standing up, moving around, or you want to move further. Your main issue is going to be connectivity when you have Bluetooth and you have monitors, you have walls and other objects. Unless you're on a soccer field or you've got a line of sight, you have nothing around you, you will find that your Bluetooth connection will suffer when it does not have line of sight. And again, line of sight is simply, does this headphone have a clear line over from the Bluetooth dongle to here? And what we're saying is, take this, let it act as a virtual tower, and just about everywhere you're going to go around it, here or on the other side of those monitors, you can see the higher that I put it, the better. Right? So if I had put it on my monitor here or on the side and taped it there, when I get up, this is still going to have line of sight. But if I were to drop this and just, let's say, assume my computer's down here and I get up and I walk over here, even over here, what you're going to have is the likelihood, as you can see right on my desk, I've got a keyboard and a few other items. And because this dongle is quite small in its profile and very small antenna, these objects are going to interfere with the signal. So it may not be your headset, it may not be the dongle, and it may not be your MacBook Pro. It is just simply physics that you're working with, and that we're trying to let you know it's hard to overcome physics, especially with Bluetooth, because it's a very low power signal. All right. Thank you, Tim, for that question. And if you have a question regarding Bluetooth or anything related to headsets, telephones, speakerphones, or other hands-free devices, send us a comment. We may feature it on a future episode of Answer the Community. In the meantime, look through our YouTube channel where we have multiple videos that are helpful and that can guide you on your journey. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you know when we release a new episode, as well as nuggets that we release throughout the week. Thanks again for joining us, and I'll see you the next time on Answer the Community.